up to another good morning. Time to go. Oh, we are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure. We are all.
Welcome back to the 3x5 Live
Podcast.
That was horrible. On this podcast,
You were so sing-songy. It threw me off.
we talk about mindset, mindfulness, productivity, everything self-development. Last week, we talked about the life force.
I really, really liked that podcast.
I thought it was good too. If you,
not like
haven't
the
tuned
content of the podcast, not trying to like pat ourselves on the back, but I've been thinking a lot about the life force and the triangle, and trying to even like set my goals within those 3 pillars that we discussed. And I don't know, it just has me like chewing on it a little bit.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal tool. So if you haven't listened to that one, go check it out. So 'tis the season. We're coming up on Christmas. And I will say, we were just in Austin 2 weeks ago. They need to pick up their game. Their Christmas decorations were subpar. We live in a little tiny town of Westchester, and ours was 10 times more decorated. Is 10 times more decorated than Austin.
I mean, listen, some people, maybe they just didn't feel like maybe that's their thing. Maybe they're like, we're hipster and we're cool and we don't decorate. And that's all right.
I left feeling like it was just the middle of February.
It was also humid and hot, so that throws us off too, because we're used to having the cold temperatures for Christmas. But I liked Austin. I felt like it was a great time, and we spent most of our time in a conference, which was also awesome. But I'd like to go back and explore the city a little bit more, to be honest.
Yeah. So one of the guys speaking at the conference was the Jesse Itzler, who I'm a big fan of. And he's one of the people that would be in my hot tub. And so Jesse
is going to breeze over that comment. He's one of the people that would be in your hot tub. He usually calls them his hot tub companions, which gets even weirder. But Bryan has a thing where he asks people repeatedly who would be in your hot tub, meaning like, who would you like to sit? You might have heard other people say, who would you like to have across your table from you? But Bryan likes to say in my hot tub. So maybe that's something you want to think about. Who would be in your hot tub? But Jesse Itzler, he would be in Bryan's hot tub.
He would be in my hot tub.
And I'm not invited. I didn't make the cut.
She did not. Jesus Christ beat you.
Yeah, he did. He said Jesus is the other person, which would be an interesting conversation if you know Jesse Itzler.
So Jesse Itzler is the founder of Marquee Jets, Zico Coconut Water. He's part owner of Atlanta Hawks. He is married to...
He was a rapper?
He was a rapper. He is married to Sarah Blakely, who is the founder of Spanx.
Who would be in my hot tub?
Yes.
Sarah Blakely would be in my hot tub.
So, and he's just his overall outlook on life, how he prioritized living a big life is just really inspirational. So I was very excited to see him live, and it was cool.
He was like fangirling out. Like
no,
it was a fangirl.
No, I do not fangirl.
It was quite the fangirl experience. I actually have never seen him so excited to meet another human being.
Anyway, so it was it was probably 60 people in the room. So it was a very like kind of casual Q&A, just kind of chatting type atmosphere. So it was neat.
And even just like the energy that he brings, like he just like sits down and you just feel like you're talking to like your best friend. Like he just has this like positive outlook on life. He's just full of like vibrancy and like energy. And it was just really cool to see. Yeah.
So we took a lot from his talk, but we figured going into the new year, this is like my favorite time of the year, not just Christmas, but like the lead up to New Year's Eve is like when I do all my like review, of the previous year, like my wins and things that I need to work on in 2022. And then I start brainstorming my goals for 2023. So I just love the quietness of between Christmas and New Year's. The quietness. So
because Bryan gets out of the house to go do this self-reflection. That's why it's quiet.
I need it.
Yes, you do. I agree.
So he going into 2023, he kind of had 3 little takeaways in that space, I guess, or he spoke.
In that conversation, he talked about, I think somebody even asked or prompted him, like, what's your advice for like setting up a goal or like setting up the year to come? And he broke it down into these like 3 pieces of information that we just thought were super cool. So we thought we'd share it with you.
Yeah. And then there's a ton of other takeaways, but we'll start with these 3. So the first one is, and we've chatted about this in the past, is the thought of a Misogi. So I believe it's a Japanese word. Maybe.
I think so. But no, that's Ikigai. Is that the same scenario? We'll have to look at the origin of the word, but.
So Misogi, anyway. So it's 1 year defining goal, adventure, activity. Just when you think of 2023, you're going to be like, oh, I did this. So my Misogi, not in 2022 and 2021, we actually did a podcast on it, was when I did the Trans Rockies run. So it's a 6-day stage race, 120 miles across the Colorado Rockies. So when I think of 2021, I'm like, oh, that's when I did the Trans Rockies. Mm-hmm. So it's just a year defining activity, adventure, goal, accomplishment. So going into next year, think about what your Misogi could be. Mm-hmm. You want to take the next one?
Yeah, he talked about something called Kevin's Rule, which is actually based on a friendship that he had developed with a cop, a police officer. And this guy, Kevin, would take him on these like crazy adventures. Like one of them was to hike up Mount Washington, right?
In the winter.
In the winter time. So like when it was like snowing and it's super dangerous, and they did it with their kiddos, and it was just something that when he got there and he was having this conversation with this guy, Kevin, he was like, why do you do this? Or what's the reason behind doing these crazy things? And his rule was that every other month he tries to do a new activity. So something he's never done before, which if you think about it, that is the equivalent of like 6 mini adventures per year.
And it could be something as simple like fly fishing for the first time with your kids. Like it doesn't have to be climbing Mount Washington.
No, for sure. But I mean, that's something like I feel like I talk about this in my self-care classes too. It's crazy what you don't know what you don't know. So sometimes when you dip your toe in a new activity, like for me, it was tennis. Like I had never really picked up a tennis racket before. Right. And I was like, I'm just going to try this. And I ended up really, really falling in love with the idea of, or with the sport of tennis. And I'm really into it right now. So you never know, like dipping your toe into a new activity. It could be something like refinishing furniture, or you go to like painting with a twist, or you go do, a rock wall climbing, and you're like, wow, this is really cool. And then it translates into like a new hobby. So it's that push to grow your brain, practice something that you're not used to doing, and then maybe falling in love with an activity that you didn't know existed. It could be cooking. It could be like whatever it is, but just trying a new adventure every other month and really planning it and prioritizing it. I thought when he was talking about this too, like Bryan and I, we have gotten away from it, to be totally transparent, but we are going to revisit it. And we were talking a lot about our relationship and how to prioritize our marriage. And that should be the forefront of our thoughts going into 2023, because it's just such an important relationship. And we used to plan day dates instead of night dates. And we've talked about this before, where it was all circulating around fun. And we would try new things. Like we did the mindfulness triathlon, where we went to the Navy Yard and we did like a 5K, meditation and yoga. And it was really fun. And it's really awesome to do it with your partner, or even with a group of girlfriends. Like I was like, oh, it might be cool to like try this Kevin's Rule with a group of people, because then you also have that connection piece to it. And I think that's why Jesse loved it so much, is because he did it with his friend. So I challenge you to think about what are some new activities that you can try this year that you haven't done before, and who do you want to include in those mini adventures? Yeah,
and when you quantify it, I mean, Jesse's very big on putting numbers to things. So it's just like, okay, over the next 10 years, if you actually follow Kevin's rule, you're going to have 60 mini adventures that you wouldn't have had, that you wouldn't have prioritized and like intentionally set up in your life. So it's just like over the next 10 years, if you actually dedicate yourself, like be like, would I not want 60 adventures for the next decade? I mean, it's just a phenomenal way to look at it.
Yeah, I agree. And we'll talk about at the end how he, Jesse Itzler himself, like formats this. He actually has a calendar and how to like plan these major blocks. But let's do the third one and then we'll circle back to that.
Yeah. So his third one was for next year, create a new winning habit every quarter. So every quarter, take, obviously 3 months and instill a new habit. So at the end of the year, you're going to have 4 winning habits that you compound on. So let's just say Q1, you start with like mindfulness and you start meditating 10 minutes a day. And it's just like, okay, I got that intact. Now Q2, you are like, all right, I'm going to drink 100 ounces of water a day,
That's a lot.
I know, Jesse.
This is a goal for me.
This one over here. So it's just like creating 4 winning habits next year. So he's just like, if you have a Misogi next year, you take 6 mini adventures that are scheduled, and then you instill 4 winning habits, like how phenomenal of a year will that be? I mean, it really will.
Yeah.
So those were his like 3 big things of how to set up 2023.
What are his calendars called? Big Year. What's his calendar called?
It's called Big Ass Calendar Club.
Oh, Big Ass Calendar Club.
Yes. And it's literally a massive calendar. We have a picture actually on our Instagram from 2 years ago of us doing it with the kids that like folds up small because I'm sure people have seen like the desktop calendars, the monthly ones that you tear.
Yeah.
They're big. They sit on your desktop. Anyway, so he used to carry that around with him everywhere. And he would have it filled out and you'd flip the big calendar. So this massive calendar he used to carry around. So he developed this big calendar that folds out and it's probably, I don't know, 4 feet by 3 feet. It's big, but then it folds up into like, the size of a book. So the thought is you can see your entire year in one piece of paper essentially. And then you go and you fill in Kevin's role. Then you go in and you schedule your Misogi.
And like when you're going to work on it or chip away at it or, connect to that Misogi. And then the habits too, like you can track your habits on it. It's just so helpful. Even like you think about your year ahead, like we really wanted to prioritize date night. So putting those on the calendar or like one of the things we want to do is every year take a trip that is a couple's trip, just the two of us, that is some type of like personal growth or development. We just went to Austin. We try to do one every single year. So what is that trip going to be? What's our family trip? So you're putting in the most important things, those big rocks first, because we all know that our calendars get infiltrated with so many things throughout the year. If those things are already scheduled, then they become sacred and they'll actually get done. So we'll link that calendar for you guys in the show notes, just in case you wanted to check it out. You could do this in a different way too, but I do feel like thinking about these 3 things, and Bryan and I have been talking about them too, it really sets you up for a great year ahead. And it's something looking into the new year that we thought might be beneficial or useful to just share with you.
Yeah. So Jesse's quote that he said during our time with him was, "I'm really good at living life." Mm-hmm. And the reason he's really good at living life is because he takes his entire year, like Jesse just said, and schedules all those big rocks of important family events, trips, adventures. And that's what makes him good at it. What goes into your calendar, says a lot about who you are as a person, what you prioritize. So we all need to be better at doing that.
Yeah.
So
we're motivated. We're getting ours done at some point over this.
It's
in
the mail.
Break.
It's in the mail.
Yeah, it's coming. So we'll keep you posted on our big year calendar. Big ass.
Jeez, always cursing on this podcast.
Yes.
Hey, well, if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. Have a fantastic
and happy holidays for whatever you celebrate. Yeah.
And have a fantastic New Year.
Yep. And we will hit you up in the new year, guys.
All right, guys. Take care.
We are all